Fie, and all tired jades, on all mad masters, and all foul ways. Was ever man so beaten? Was ever man so rayed? Was ever man so weary? I am sent before to make a fire, and they are coming to warm them. Now were I not a little pot and soon hot, my very lips might freeze to my teeth, my tongue to the roof of my mouth, my heart in my belly, ere I should come by a fire to thaw me. But I with dowling the fire shall warm myself, for considering the weather, a taller man than I will take the cold. Holla ho, Curtis!
Who is that calls so coldly?
A piece of ice. If thou doubt it, thou mayest slide from my shoulder to my heel with no greater a run but my head and my neck. A fire, good Curtis.
Is my master and his wife coming, Romeo?
Oh, aye, Curtis, aye, and therefore fire cast on no water.
Is she so hot as shrew as she's reported?
She was, good Curtis, before this frost, but thou knowest winter tames man, woman, and beast. For it hath tamed my old master and my new mistress and myself, fellow Curtis.
Away, you 3-inch fool! I am no beast.
But 3 inches, why thy thorn is a foot, and so long am I at the least. But wilt thou make a fire, or shall I complain on thee to our mistress, whose hand she be now at hand? Thou shalt soon feel to thy good comfort for being slow in thy hot office.
Fie, good Romeo, tell me, how goes the world?
A cold world, Curtis, in every office but thy, and therefore a fire. Do thy duty and have thy duty, for master and mistress are almost frozen to death.
There's fire ready, and therefore, good Romeo, the news.
Why, Jack boy, ho boy, and as much as ooze as wilt thou.
Come, are you so full of coney catching?
Why, there for fire, for I have caught extreme cold. Where's the cook? Is supper ready? The house trimmed? Brushes strewed? Cobwebs swept? The serving men in their now forstrained, their white stocking, and every officer his wedding garment on? Be the jacks fair within, the Jills fair without, the carpets laid, and everything in order?
Already, and therefore I pray thee, news.
First, you should know that my horse is tired, and my master and mistress have fallen out.
How?
Out of their saddles and onto the dirt, and thereby hangs the tail.
Let's have it, good Romeo.
Lend thine ear.
Here.
There!
Oh! This 'tis to feel a tale, not hear a tale. Both on one horse?
What's that to thee?
Why, a horse.
Tell thou the tale, but hast thou not crossed me? Thou shouldn't heard how her horse fell, and she under her horse. Thou shouldn't heard how Myrio place, how she was bemoiled, how he left her with the horse upon her, how he beat me because her horse trembled, how she waded through the drift to clutch him off me, how he sware, how she prayed that never prayed before, how I cried the horses ran away, how her bride was burst, how I grabbed my crupper with the many things of worthy memory of which she shall die in oblivion, and now return unexperienced to thy grave.
By this reckoning, he's more shrew than she.
Aye, and that thou and the proudest of you all shall find when he comes home. But what talk I of this? Call forth Nathaniel, Joseph, Nicholas, Philip, Walter, Sugarsop, and the rest. Let their heads be sickly combed, and their blue coats brushed, and their garters often indifferent knit. Let them curse you with their legs, and not presume to touch their hair or my master's horsetail till they kiss their hands. Are they ready?
They are.
Call them forth.
Do you hear how? You must meet my master to countenance my mistress.
Why, she hath a face of her own.
Who knows, not that.
Though it seems that company that call it for countenance her.
I call them forth to credit her.
Why, she comes to borrow nothing of them.
Welcome home, Grumio.
How now, Grumio? What Grumio?
Fellow Grumio! How now, old lad?
Welcome you, how now you, what you, fellow you. And thus much for greeting. Now my spruce companions, is all ready and all things neat?
All things is ready. How near is our master?
And at hand, enlightened by this, therefore be not. Fox passion, silence, I hear my master.
Shakespeare's play, Taming of the Shrew, there is a clear power struggle going on, which is evident in the mentalities of certain characters. Petruchio and Catherine are headed home, but Grumio gets there first. Grumio is angry because he has been instructed to make sure the servants prepare the house for Petruchio and Catherine. Grumio again is upset over having to be in charge of the other servants and making sure the house is perfect. Grumio argues with Curtis, a different servant. They argue about seemingly inarguable things, and there is a noticeable tension from the beginning. Curtis calls Grumio a quote-unquote 3-inch fool, which is essentially a stab at Grumio's short stature. Grumio eventually smacks Curtis on the head. Shortly after, Curtis listens to Grumio talk about what happened to him and Catherine in Padua. Grumio tells of how Catherine fell into the mud from the horse being spooked, and Petruchio blaming Grumio for it. Grumio then tells Curtis to gather the other servants who arrived just before Petruchio and Catherine. Grumio does not speak to the servants properly and makes them seem more like objects or property by the incredibly informal way he speaks to them. Grumio wants more than anything at his moment to prove what little power he has. Petruchio, his master, is always hitting him or picking on him for a reason or another. Grumio is fed up with this terrible treatment and takes it out on the only kinds of people he can, another servant. He diminishes the statues and powers of the other servants Curtis brings into the house by addressing them rather in disrespectful ways. He also physically hits Curtis. Both name-calling and physical abuse have been done unto Grumio by Petruchio, and Grumio just wants to prove that he is above all that kind of treatment. The only way he sees fit, punish others unfairly just as he was. This situation is very similar to the other power struggles going on within the story. Petruchio is starving Catherine and depriving her of sleep simply because she did not act like a proper woman. Petruchio does things like this and is treating his servants poorly in an effort to gain power. Bianca knows that an ideal woman of this time must be obedient and level-headed, so she acts that way in front of people who can judge her, such as her father or her suitors. She does this again in an effort to gain some form of power. All of the main characters are striving for power in one way or another, and this is evident power struggle is the part of the premises of the tale. Everyone wants to have power over someone else. It's just a fact. Whether it helps boost self-esteem, confidence, whatever the reason. The fact is made clear of this world, and especially in this section of the tale.